Hey guys, Letter Magic here, and when Wizards said that their new daily MTG page index thing was the #1 central source for your Modern Horizon leaks, apparently they forgot about the numero uno Spanish YouTuber in el mundo, Letter Magic. You know what's hilarious too? I probably am the biggest Spanish YouTuber if you count just people who speak some Spanish, and mis habilidades en español son malas, pero estas fuegas son grandes. Muy grandes, because I did not see this coming. Wait, foreign language leaks of cards that aren't out yet. Actually, I did see this coming. Who am I kidding? So primero tenemos Deriva Astral, which I don't know what Deriva is, and Google Translate says it's drift, so it's astral drift, I guess. Just wait till you see my translation on the other one. And as is the norm, I'm going to translate this on the fly, poorly and slowly. But Des, why don't you just write down the translation ahead of time? I don't tell you how to live your life. So, in context, assuming that says mientras, because remember it's cut off, I think it says whenever an activated ability that is cycle, so whenever you activate a cycle ability of this card or another card while this is in the battlefield, so when this enchantment is in play, you can exile a creature card if something returns this card to the battlefield, and then something, boy, I wish I wasn't cut off. Something about like under the control of its owner at the end of the next turn. Actually, I think that would be the next end step. And then this has cycle 3 with 1 white, 2 generic. I hope that this doesn't work the way that I just read it. If this 3-cost enchantment is in play when you cycle a card, you can take any creature card, I don't know if it doesn't say from where. I assume from your hand, and then exile it, and then you just immediately during the next end step drop it into play. So you have this in play, Emrakul in hand, and cycle anything at all. And I assume also including this, although it did say while this is in play. Well, you can't cycle it when it's in play, so I'm a little bit confused there. But okay, you cycle another card, boom, instant free Emrakul. I mean, this is about as broken as free casting can get, assuming that you were going to build an all-cycle deck anyway. So I hope that I misread or mistranslated this, or one of the missing words that's covered means something, because this would be pretty messed up. I think the way it's worded, it probably just flickers a creature. But I also think right where it would say a creature card in your hand, that's what's cut off. So I don't know, I guess we'll find out. If it is just free casting, it's crazy. But then again, remember, this is Modern Horizons 1, apparently. It says MH1 on the bottom of these. A lot of these cards that are brand new that have never been printed before are supposed to be hyper powerful and intended specifically for Modern. So to have something this crazy powerful with, this level of free casting, it still has to be an all-cycle deck, and it still costs 3, and it has to survive getting cast and not get blown up after it's in play. On top of that, you have to have a good enough creature in your hand to be worth it. And another cycle card that you actually want to cycle. So it's like, okay, in the context of Modern, this probably isn't even that good of a card. If this is in Standard, holy crap. So honestly, the power level of this card is probably appropriate for Modern. I couldn't tell you what Modern deck this is intended to go in, but you could just take this and make a brand new deck that's just nothing but free casting, probably white-green. I mean, add some board wipes and fog effects into your graveyard and you got a deck. Hey, why not? So the only other strange thing worth mentioning is that on the bottom, it says this is 003 out of 254, so now we know it's a 254 card set. I think we knew that already. And it says preview. And also it says R, so it's a rare, by the way. I believe the preview is now the open house. That's what somebody told me. I think Cinder Shadow told me that. Thanks, Cinder. So apparently, if you go to the open house and just attend it, you got a pretty good chance of getting this completely for free. But also, theoretically, a non-date stamped and possibly alternate art version will be in the actual set as card number 3. Now, this next one is a little bit different. This appears to be number 255 out of 254. And this is clearly the buy a box promo. So there's going to be a buy a box promo for what basically equates to a master set. So that's interesting. But also, there's going to be a, like a pre-release thing. I think it's the day of the launch, not a week ahead of time. I might be wrong about that. I don't remember, but it might just be like a launch day event, but it's going to be run like a pre-release. So that'll be kind of cool, I guess. Probably pretty expensive, but whatever. The real question is, are they going to have kits? I don't think there will be, but also I'm assuming that it's going to be normal format. It might just be a draft, like a pre-release draft. So not a pre-release. I don't know. All the information about any of this crap is scattered all over in typical Wizards fashion. They probably already specified what's going on with this, and I just can't find it. Whatever. So anyway, the second card is Tormenta Azoradora, and I know Tormenta is storm. I've never heard the term Azoradora before, so I looked it up, and according to Google Translate, it translates to Stormy Storm. I'm so sure that'll be the English translation. Here's the thing though, the last one, as far as I could tell, was a new card. This one is a reprint. It's almost definitely Flusterstorm because it's mechanically the same. So Flusterstorm is currently sitting at $35. It was only ever a Judge promo foil, and it was in, I believe, the very first Commander set and then Iconic Masters. So since this is the buy box promo, they just, instead of a brand new card like Nexus where they're like, oh, I don't know if it'll work, or those stupid Minotaur things that was the other buy box that flopped and it's like $2. Instead of like, oh, let's cross our fingers and see what happens, they just said, let's just take a $35 card and make it the buy box promo. Because then it kind of has like a price floor, but it also kind of has a price ceiling. It's easy, safe, predictable, and honestly, this card probably still hasn't been printed enough. Although, it is technically a Storm card, so at least it's not a new Storm card. I mean, remember guys, it's called the Storm Scale, and Storm is a 10 on it. They should never, ever, ever design a new Storm card. In fact, they've had to ban the Storm deck before. Although people say ban the deck, they just banned a couple cards from it, and then it came back, unfortunately. So this card was so in demand that the Iconic Masters version of it is completely out of stock on Card Kingdom, and there's actually very few copies on eBay. So if you're not familiar with what Flusterstorm actually does, the translation is counter a spell that's instant or sorcery unless the controller pays 1, which is obviously unplayably bad, but it has Storm. So whenever you cast this, copy it, like this spell itself, once for each spell cast already this turn or whatever. Wait, why am I translating? Why don't I just read the definition of Storm on Flusterstorm? So when you cast the spell, copy it for each spell cast before it this turn. You may choose new targets for the copies. There you go. So, this is played a little bit. I mean, the modern Storm decks that I've always seen are mono red, but I've heard that there's a vintage version that does run this card specifically. So, I mean, that's cool. A little additional value there. I mean, if boxes are going for like, I don't know, 200 flat, having a little $35 card on top of it is kind of nice. Besides that, I hate Storm. I hate every card that has Storm on it, and this isn't even a good card otherwise. The best thing is you're probably going to end up targeting one of your own spells on the stack just to drive up the Storm count. So outside of Storm, would you be better off with like Dispel, Turn Aside? Yeah, probably. So these appear to be the only ones leaked so far. I don't know why somebody has these. I mean, even with the event being in early June, like that's pretty early for these to be in the country, let alone in the hands of an actual store. But at least this time they spread it around a little bit and it wasn't just another Portuguese leak. Like seriously, Brazil, you leak everything. Nope, they gave it to Sus Hermanos this time, so that's it for the leaks so far, but I guarantee there's probably more coming because people just really hate Wizards right now. I assume that has to be the motivation. So no olvides to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys video próxima. Or is it siguiente? I don't know.